because I worked with so many young artists and we all wanted to succeed so bad.
The drama surrounding Scooter Braun isn't just about contracts or catalog sales. It's about ambition, power, youth, and the quiet cost of building an empire in an industry that has never been gentle with dreamers. Before the billion-dollar headlines, before the stadium tours and viral scandals, there was a kid from Greenwich, Connecticut, carrying the weight of history on his shoulders.
Company for $1.1 billion, which I don't think people realize. It's a fucking lot of money.
Born to a father who was a Hungarian refugee and the grandson of Holocaust survivors, Scott Samuel Braun grew up in a home where expectations weren't casual. They were sacred. Every night, he was reminded that he was different, that he was meant for something more. That pressure didn't crush him, fueled him. He landed in Atlanta during the early 2000s, right as hip-hop was redefining the culture. Lil Jon was shaking speakers. Ludacris owned the airwaves. Jermaine Dupri's So So Def was a powerhouse. And somehow, in rooms he technically didn't belong in, a college kid nicknamed Scooter kept showing up. He started promoting parties, studying the economics of the door, the bar splits, the psychology of crowds. He didn't beg for attention. He made himself impossible to ignore. By 20, he was the youngest VP in So So Def's history. His grades at Emory collapsed as his industry stock rose. A dean warned him that his odds of success without a degree were 1 in a billion. That was the moment he dropped out. Not out of rebellion, out of belief. He wasn't chasing safety. He was chasing scale. Then came the YouTube link. A 12-year-old boy from Canada singing covers in his house. No label, no polish, just raw talent and a camera. Scooter didn't hesitate. He tracked down Justin Bieber's mother within 24 hours, flew them to Atlanta, arranged a meeting with Usher, and bet everything on a teenager with a guitar. That decision changed pop music forever. But signing a 12-year-old isn't just about discovering talent. It's about shaping a life. Scooter was in every room where decisions were made: record deals, brand partnerships, touring schedules. Standard management commissions in the industry range from 15 to 20%, often calculated from gross revenue. As Bieber exploded into a global phenomenon, multi-platinum albums, world tours grossing hundreds of millions, brand endorsements stacking high, Scooter's machine ran alongside him, monetizing every vertical. By 17, Bieber was one of the most famous people on earth. By his early 20s, the cracks were visible. Exhaustion, identity struggles, a canceled world tour in 2017. Years later, Scooter would admit publicly that he felt guilt about how fast everything moved, that if he could go back, he would have slowed it down and put therapists on the road. That wasn't a legal confession. It was something more human, a man looking back at the speed of his own ambition. And Bieber wasn't the only chapter. Ariana Grande's ascent during The Dangerous Woman, Sweetener, and Thank You Next eras transformed her into a multi-industry force. Her tours grossed well over $100 million. Her fragrance and beauty ventures became massive commercial successes. Scooter managed across music, branding, touring, and partnerships. Then, quietly, she moved on. No spectacle, just a clean exit. Kanye West's relationship with him was brief. Demi Lovato, J Balvin, Carly Rae Jepsen, Martin Garrix, artist after artist cycled through the SB Project's ecosystem, generating enormous revenue during their peak years. Many eventually left. Some departures were loud. Others were nearly silent. But nothing compared to June 30th, 2019. That was the morning Scooter's company, Ithaca Holdings, acquired Big Machine label group for a reported $300 million. Included in that acquisition were the master recordings of Taylor Swift's first 6 albums. Fearless, Red, 1989. 15 years of cultural history. Masters in the music business are long-term assets. They generate income every time a song streams, licenses, or plays anywhere in the world. Whoever owns them controls the financial legacy. Taylor Swift did not stay silent. She publicly described the acquisition as her worst-case scenario and said she had not been given a fair opportunity to buy her own masters. She called Scooter a bully. The internet ignited. Legally, the transaction was valid. Swift had signed her original deal with Big Machine as a teenager, a standard arrangement at the time. Ethically, the debate was far more complicated. Then she did something unprecedented. She re-recorded her catalog. Taylor's version wasn't just a branding move. It was a strategic redirection of cultural power. Fans shifted their streams. Radio followed. Licensing partners adjusted. The commercial gravity began moving toward the versions she owned. Eventually, Scooter sold the original masters to Shamrock Holdings in a deal widely reported around $300 million. Industry analysts noted that the number suggested he may have recouped much of the Big Machine purchase price through that transaction alone, while retaining or monetizing other assets within the broader acquisition. The financial architecture behind Scooter Braun's wealth was never about one artist or one deal. It was layered. Management commissions across multiple global superstars. Equity in Ithaca Holdings, which later sold in a transaction valued at $1.1 billion. Catalog acquisitions. Early-stage investments, including a long-held position in Spotify, which grew from startup to a publicly traded giant over nearly 2 decades. It wasn't luck. It was infrastructure, cash flow, enterprise value, asset appreciation, and compounding equity, all running simultaneously. By the time he retired from artist management in 2023, his estimated net worth hovered between $400 and $500 million. On paper, it's one of the most successful executive runs in modern music history. And yet, at 40, sitting in therapy, Scooter admitted something that cut through the bravado. He said he realized he had been driven by a fear of not being enough. That at the height of his success, when the world told him he was winning, he felt lost. That he had built a mask so convincing he couldn't find himself beneath it. That he had spent years chasing validation from people who would never give it. That's what makes this story so unsettling. There are no clean villains here. The artists he managed became extraordinarily wealthy and influential. Justin Bieber rebuilt his life on his own terms. Ariana Grande continues to expand her empire. Taylor Swift just completed the highest-grossing tour in recorded history. They are not cautionary tales of ruin. They are generational talents who thrived. But the system they operated within was built to centralize ownership and maximize extraction. Scooter didn't invent that system. He understood it earlier than most. He mastered it. He executed within it with precision. So the real tension isn't whether he broke the rules. It's whether the rules themselves deserve to remain untouched. In the music industry, the artist creates the magic. The fans build the culture. But the person who controls the masters, the contracts, the infrastructure, that person controls the leverage. And leverage, over time, becomes wealth. Scooter Braun proved that understanding ownership can be more powerful than standing on stage. He proved that discovering talent is one thing, but controlling the framework around that talent is where fortunes are made. Whether that makes him a visionary, a tactician, or something more complicated is a question that doesn't fade easily. So now it's your turn. Was Scooter Braun a genius who played the game better than anyone else? A symbol of an industry that needs reform? Or a complex mix of both? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into the power moves, hidden structures, and real stories shaping the music world, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel.